So, some of you truly underestimate how much other people want your life. Hello, 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 and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jameelah, and I am a master manifester, and I'm sure you are too, because you are consuming content like this. The name of this lovely channel is Holistic Manifesting, because I believe in a whole body, whole mind, and whole being experience when it comes to manifesting these amazing lives we choose. Now, the reason why I say that some of you underestimate it is because of a conversation that I was having with my daughter the other day. She had one of those things with a friend that went hot and cold, and back and forth. I finally met the girl and I was like, okay, I understand what this is. And so she was like, what is it? What is her problem with me? Why does I can say the same thing somebody else says and she'll treat me this way and treat other people another way? And I was like, she's envious of you for something. I was like, she's got the jealous bug in her. Something about what you have is triggering her to some degree. And she was like what? Like, what can somebody, and it always trips me out when people say that, right? Because I remember being a young woman actually saying the same thing. When someone was clearly telling me that I had a person around me that meant me no good and that their behavior was that of competition or envy or jealousy or something like that, I was very reluctant to believe it because I didn't think that way. I assumed that others didn't either. It's just I didn't even put thought into that mindset. And also, too, I felt like everything that I had going on was pretty much attainable. So if I had what I have going on is attainable, then you can just go get your own. What's the big deal? That's not the way a lot of people see it. And that's what she's beginning to understand. I was like, it could be the car you're driving. It could be your hair. It could be your looks, your clothing, your home life. It could even be your family. You never know. And I said, and also ultimately it's your confidence and your solidity. You solidify the foundation of who you are in yourself, even if you don't know the full version of who you are yet. Right. And I was like, for some people, that's very intimidating because it takes time when we go through spiritual awakenings and all. It takes time to learn what in life suits me best. Outside of everything that everybody's been feeding me, what makes me excited? What makes me happy? And a lot of people don't have that in mind. So when you walk in a space and you're comfortable in your confidence and you're comfortable in who you are, you're comfortable in the things you know, you're comfortable in the things you don't know, that can be triggering for a lot of people. And so people truly, and I see this especially in women, they underestimate how much somebody else wants their life and what they have going on in their life. And the biggest reason is not this. It's not because your life is so perfect. It's not because you don't have issues. It's not because you don't have challenges and all this stuff going on. When people are in that mindset, they don't even see you as a person. They don't even see you as somebody who has all of the vicissitudes of life happening because you don't wear every up and down on your sleeves, right? Then people see you as this person that has minimal issues in your life, and then that's what they latch on to. So they don't even see you as a whole person at all. And they latch on to these sunny parts of your life of your life that they actually see. And then they take that and run with it and say, I want what she has. But they don't know what's happening on the other side. I tell my daughters that all the time. Whenever somebody's being overly focused on, or somebody's getting too much attention for something, or whatever's happening at their school with people and all that, I'm like, you do not know what her home life looks like. You do not know what she comes from. You do not know what she goes through every single day. And a lot of people don't seem to understand that. So when they go out into the world and someone is being envious of them or jealous of them or treating them, in hot and cold kind of ways, they're always like, well, what are they jealous of? What are they worried about? They're bothered and triggered by what you represent. So sometimes even when we're going through things and we're not at our highest version, we're not at the best version of who we want to be and what we're working towards, right? We still present well. We still present with confidence and clarity. We still present like, I may be down today, but tomorrow I won't be. We still present like every time I fall, I'm going to get right back up. We still present in courage and in strength, in reliability and accountability, in resilience. It still shows up inside of us. So when we walk into spaces where people are lacking all of those things, you best believe you're going to treat you differently. And the main aspect of it is that They want what you have. And you think it's some material thing, you think it's some car you're driving. It could be those things. But if you don't have all of that stuff, they want what you have on the inside. A lot of people want your light. So that's what I mean when I say some people don't understand that people want your life. It's not that they probably even want to get in the same shoes as you. They want to cherry pick. They want to pull pieces of your life out of what you've been working on and what you've been doing, and then nestle themselves in just only that part. But nobody wants to take on all of the road that took you to get to where you are. Because that would be just too much, right? That would be too much for people to just go back to when I was like this and I had to work through these things and go through these issues and learn this about myself and graduate from this moment to this moment to this moment to the next. They want that prize, that end result, right? And so just keep that in mind whenever you start maneuvering through the world and connecting with other people, and you find that there's some funny energy surrounding how you interact with other people. There's some funny energy about how they're treating you. Just keep in mind that sometimes people truly are in a delusion of what you have and who you are. They're not in delusion of your positivity, your light, and your greatness. Don't get me wrong. But they're in a delusion of how easy they think everything is for you. And they want your actual life. I've talked to people several times before. I remember talking to someone about a popular celebrity, and she was just like, I wish I could be her. And I was like, you really wouldn't want to be her, would you? And I was like, maybe characteristics or whatever. She was like, no, I wish I could literally switch lives and be her. I've never thought about anybody like that in that sense. So what you got to understand is that there are people walking around who actually believe that they just want to drop who they are completely and jump into the shoes of somebody else. And just because you don't think of the world in that way, just because you don't operate that way, it doesn't mean that other people aren't operating that way. And if you become the object of their attention, or the object of what they think they can have, or what they think they can accomplish, or what they think they can achieve, then you'll feel that energy. You'll feel the shift. You'll feel the target, right? I remember I was going to tell a story, but I kind of forgot it because I was more focused on what I was saying. I remember dealing with it was a friend back in the day or whatever. And I remember having a conversation with her, and she was talking about how incredibly insecure she was. And I don't have a problem with that. I love that people, if that's how you feel, admit that out loud, right? Just go ahead and say it. But I also used to say, what is there to be insecure of? And she was like, well, you wouldn't understand it because, I have this, that, and that going on. And I was kind of not really offended. Yeah. But I mean, on the surface, I was kind of offended. And she was like, you wouldn't understand. And I was like, why wouldn't I understand? And she was like, well, because you have this, you have that, you have your own house. And I was like, if you actually knew the background and that stuff, I would have taken the peace and the freedom rather than the house and the little car that came with it any day. And so you're looking at this stuff thinking it's all settled. And then what she didn't even know at the time, that house that I had, that mortgage was so far behind. I was on so many little government programs like the, road back to something they had, and where you could sign up and then get your mortgage reduced and all that. Like, I just don't talk about what's the point of sharing all that information? It's handled. The children were happy. I was happy. Why would I go around yapping to people? Oh yeah, I had to get on this program to get my mortgage reduced. So you're looking from the outside in and thinking like, oh, this is all a certain way, right? At the time, no, it wasn't, right? Now, today, everything is kosher. But back in the day, that was what I was dealing with. And I remember just thinking like, how I was waking up and thinking gratitude no matter what, gratitude no matter what. And I got this person sitting next to me that's like disregarding all the work I'm putting into myself, all of the clarity I'm finding, all of the times when I got to stop myself from doing a crash out on a regular basis and saying, nope, you have a lot, you'll be grateful, you're blessed, blah, 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 all these wonderful things. And she just telling me I won't understand what she's going through because of some bill she can't pay that she's been whining about for like 2 weeks. And I'm like, I'm just not going to walk around and do that. I'm going to be grateful that bill is paid. That's just my mindset. And so when you walk through this world, you got to remember that you never know how people are looking at you. You never know how they're seeing what you have and how they're seeing how you operate. And while we think it might be all rainbows and butterflies and stuff like that, when we hear these little snide comments, that's my biggest way of knowing. These little offhand comments that come when you're not even paying attention, right? My daughter has one of my daughters, not the older one, the younger one. She has a friend that does that. I'm like, that little girl is a hater. She may not know it yet, but she definitely is. She makes these little weird comments to me. That's not quite disrespectful, but kind of is. But the way she says it, she's really good at tiptoeing around things. And I'm always like, that girl she's got something shifty inside of her. I don't know what it is fully yet, but we'll see. We'll see someday. We'll see. We'll see. But nonetheless, you never know what people see inside of you. And so when you go into environments, you're thinking that it's all gravy. I should show up with my best face forward. I'm gonna put my best foot forward. I should show up, with my head held high, because people love these wonderful things and confidence and all. And I can honestly tell you the sad truth. Most people do not enjoy those things if it's not theirs, if it's not on them. And then what you'll see is people love confidence and abundance and creativity when it's at a distance. If that abundance and creativity and confidence was right next to them as a friend or whatever, it would bother the hell out of them. So when you're growing and you're expanding and you're getting to the next levels, and you have these people around you sometimes that are watching you do the work, that are watching you grow, sometimes they're not even paying attention to that. All they're paying attention to is what you're getting and what you're having access to, and not paying attention to none of the work that you're putting into it. I've even dated people like this, and people think, oh, it's only with women. No, it's with guys too, where they saw me when I had nothing. They saw me when I was not even able to get a decent job or a contract or any type of work. They saw me when I wasn't able to bring the income, and I started doing personal work. I was writing in my gratitude journal. I was reading the books. I was listening to the audios. They watched all of this happen, and they still had a problem when I won something. They still had a problem when I was being given what I appropriately earned and what was due to me and what I deserved anyway, what I was worthy of. That's what it was at the end of the day. And so just keep that in mind. Sometimes people want your life because they don't truly respect the whole version of who you are. And don't walk around saying, well, what would they be jealous of? What would they be envious of? What do I have that? You got a lot, right? If you're watching content like this, even though I don't know who you are, you got a lot. And a lot of people don't realize that. Most people are doing brain rot stuff. They're sitting there, Some people have a good balance of brain rot and then some positivity. But at some point, riding that fence like that, the brain rot is always going to pull you further in. Even when I get it in my feed for a second, I always got to push it out, because it's a lot more enticing to hear people say things that boost your ego in kind of a way that puts other people down. It's kind of like, yeah, I knew that was the truth, but get that stuff out of your feed. If you're listening to stuff like this, most people are not. They don't want to face things. They don't want to see themselves. They don't want to grow through things because it's a lot of work. So just keep that in mind. Just the idea that you're willing to do the work is sometimes enough for people to want what you have. Anyway, it's storming and it's thundering here today, and it's like so dark outside. I had to get my spotlight on me. Yeah, that's all I got on this topic. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day.